Welcome, roller derby fans. I'm the Derby Nerd here on behalf of the Derby News Network and Blood and Thunder magazine. I'm your host for this all-important draw for the grouping stage of the 2011 Roller Derby World Cup. I'm joined here by Blood and Thunder editor and World Cup mastermind, Black Dahlia. Dahlia, how did the World Cup come about? Was it a moment of inspiration? Was it a slow gestation?
Several years ago, a friend of mine from New Zealand took part in a Team World, ad hoc Team World team that skated against Team USA. After the game was over, she and a teammate were just sort of fantasizing about how great it would be if someday there was a World Cup for Derby. And so I just sort of ran with that idea.
And here it is. Now, this is the first time that a group of international teams are going to come together to play a competitive roller derby tournament. And the mastermind behind putting together this very complex schedule is John Wyatt from New York. John, how is this organized, this draw today?
The draw is organized into pools where we've selected the four teams that we anticipate being the highest performers at the tournament. They've been separated out. And then after that, all the teams from different regions of the world have been separated into pools according to region so that we can facilitate more intercontinental and inter-region play so that teams can get a chance to play against countries that they've would have to travel half a world to see. So that's the goal of the draw today.
Right, so a little bit of competitive grouping and also making sure that it's very internationally diverse.
Yes.
Okay, so the draw is going to be very simple. We're going to draw. We have 6 pots here, and we're going to slot them into either the A, B, C, or D group, again, based on competitive level and international diversity. So I guess we can just get things started here. Dahlia, would you like to make the first draw?
So the first 2 groups are actually groups of teams that have arrival issues. They will be arriving a little bit late, so they will be placed into slots where they will not have to play a game on Thursday night. And so the first team that we'll be placing is Scotland, correct? And we'll be placing them via coin flip into either the 3rd slot in Group C or the 3rd slot in Group D. I will flip the coin now.
Yes.
Heads, they go into Group C. Tails, they go into Group D.
And it is?
It is heads, they will be in Group C. Scotland to Group C.
There you have it, the first country placed, and they are in the C group. Now, these first grouping, of course, are just for the first round of the World Cup. The brackets will be based on how the teams perform within these groups in the opening day. Okay, so our second pick now.
Our second pot is also arrival-based. It is pot 5. We will pull that out, and we will place them into the 3rd slot in Group D.
So that team is?
That team is England.
England, one of the more experienced countries at this year's World Cup. So they will now be in Group D for that opening day of the tournament. So again, Scotland, Group C, England, Group D so far. Our third grouping now will be chosen based on?
Pot 2 consists of teams from Oceania, New Zealand, and Australia, and also teams from South America, Argentina, and Brazil. We will be drawing randomly from that pot and placing the first team into Group A, the second into Group B, third into Group C, and the fourth into Group D.
Excellent. And Dahlia, if you could draw the first team. This is a very exciting moment. This is I don't think the history of this moment can be underplayed.
The first team is Brazil.
Brazil, you have it, a South American team. Our first team in Group A.
A1 is.
So now we'll be selecting for Group B. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So our first team in Group B is?
Australia.
Australia. Another one of the more experienced countries, I think, coming to this 2011 Roller Derby World Cup. They are the first team now placed in Group B. So next we will pick our second team for Group C. And that country will be?
New Zealand.
New Zealand. So already Australia, New Zealand separated now into their respective groups. And the final team here will be placed into Group D.
Ceremoniously.
Ceremoniously. There's one country left here.
Argentina.
Argentina. So now Argentina and England will be in Group D. They're our first 2 teams, our first matchup there. Okay, now we're moving on to our third cup, and this group is.
So there is one group that is larger than all the others because there are 13 teams participating in the tournament. So there are 3 groups of 3 teams in group play and 1 group of 4. This position will fill the 4th spot in the larger group. It is a Western European team.
Okay, so a Western European team will be put into the larger group. And that team is
France.
France. So France now into Group A, along with Brazil. So France and Brazil now make up Group A.
The remaining teams from Pot 3 will be placed into Pot 4 so that we can draw from the remaining Western European teams and the Scandinavian teams.
Okay. So again, now the rest of the team being mixed up to ensure that we have a diverse group here. So our next European team will be. The tension on these picks is palpable.
Ireland.
Ireland. So Ireland has been our next European selection, and we will now do a coin toss to determine whether they go into Group B or D.
Heads, they will go into Group B. Tails, they will go into Group D. It is tails.
Tails, so that means Ireland will now go into Group D, so filling out Group D. They will join England and Argentina. England and Ireland. Interesting matchup already in the first round.
Group D is complete at this point.
Okay, so our next selection then will be to determine
which teams will go into slots in A, B, and C. There are rules to set up Scandinavian teams going into certain groups and European teams going into other groups. But yeah, to keep them separate.
Okay, so our next country drawn.
Sweden.
Sweden, so our first Scandinavian team. And which group will they be placed into?
Group A.
So Sweden now joins Brazil in Group A, along with France in that larger group. Okay, and our next country chosen will be?
Finland.
Finland. So our second Scandinavian country now chosen, and they will be slotted into Group B. So that means they will be joining now Australia in Group B. So another European selection coming, and this selection
That pot is empty.
is coming from Pot 6.
The 3 remaining teams are seeded teams that will be arriving before the Thursday games take place. So the remaining seeded teams will be placed into the 3 remaining slots available in the groups.
Okay. So this is Canada, USA, and Germany. So based on total games played experience, these were the seeded teams. So our first seeded team, this will be filling out Group A, is?
Drum roll. Germany.
Germany.
Germany cannot be placed into Group A because there is already a Western European team there. They will be placed into Group B.
Group B. Thank you. We're so glad that John is here. Again, he is the mastermind behind this very, very complicated system. He's done an excellent job in ensuring that there is that diversity of both talent and regional diversity as well. So our next team, this team will be slotted in Group A.
Canada.
Canada, the host nation, slotted in Group A now with Brazil and Sweden and France in the larger group. So that leaves only one team left. Perhaps the favorites for this first ever Roller Derby World Cup.
The USA.
Team USA. They will be put into Group C now, along with New Zealand and Scotland. So once again, if we'll just run down those groups, Group A, which is the slightly larger group for this first round, is Brazil, Sweden, Canada, and France. In Group B, we have Australia, Finland, and Germany. Group C consists of New Zealand, USA, and Scotland. And finally, Group D, Argentina, Ireland, and England. So there you have it, the first round groupings for the 2011 Roller Derby World Cup. Remember, you can catch all of the action live here on the Derby News Network from December 1st to 4th. On behalf of Black Dahlia, John Wyatt, Blood and Thunder Magazine, Derby News Network, I'm the Derby Nerd. See you in Toronto.